The maze is twisting, you're all twisting. Do you plan to see what you're missing? The sound of a bell from a tiny adventurer signals a new beginning.
Hello everybody, my name is Skybound.
Starlight Flux.
And we just got finished the finale, episode 13 of Boku no Hero Academia, Season 1. Season 1, and
Wow.
that was fantastic, a great end to it.
That was a surprising end. Well, I would say not so surprising as the fact that you beat them, but the way they did it, really, because...
I have to commend them for not going for the predictable way of doing it.
Yeah, I have to say, I was kind of surprised.
I was expecting Midoriya to fucking One Punch Man the mist creature or whatever, and then the backup was going to arrive and defeat Mr. fucking hand guy. But they didn't do that. In fact, he pretty much didn't do anything really. Like he delayed the attack on All Might is basically all he did.
Yeah.
But that bought the precious few seconds that they needed to get the teachers in, which is good because it's basically like
He's helped, but not in a direct way.
yeah, and I do like how they keep on kind of nailing this point down that he's not that kind of in control of his power.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting him to get in control of the power at some point. We don't know when it's going to be, but it's going to happen at some point. It's one of these defining moments that they've set up as he's going to get control. No, he's going to get control of it at some point. You expect it to happen. It's a key point, plot point, which you expect to come up. You just don't know when it's going to come up. And it probably will happen in, hopefully, season 2, because if there's another season to go, I'm going to be, thinking, God damn it, not again. But, yeah, it actually surprised me there, because I was expecting it to end the way that Aaron just said. I mean, I have to say, it's interesting with that, that cowboy guy. His power was pretty much just sharpshooting to the nth degree of being able to just shoot from a mile away or something. Like one of these snipers you hear about in World Wars or things like that.
His superpower is basically a bullet.
His superpower is basically being...
It's the most American superpower ever.
It's like those stories you hear about these snipers who can shoot miles away or something like without a scope or something like that. Like
Simo from... I think he was like a Finnish sniper or something that had like a ridiculous amount of kills with a sniper rifle with no scope.
Yeah, well that's what I'm saying. His power is basically that. And then you've got this guy who's basically the heavy metal guy.
Yeah, that I like it. I like his power. His power is basically the power of rock. Yeah! Oh god.
Wait, hang on a minute. Isn't that similar to the... Well, no,
you know what his power is?
His power is similar to that girl's power, the hair bone things that power to...
Kind of.
But I suppose his is more controlled, could produce more than just heartbeats.
No, you know what his power reminds me of?
What?
There's this game called Brutal Legend. It's a few years old now. It's quite old, but I think it was on PlayStation 3 or something. And it's basically a game with Jack Black that takes place in this heavy metal world, and there's this kind of glam rock style villain called Lion White, and one of his attacks is screaming into the microphone, yeah! That's exactly what it reminded me of. And he also flies around with his hair, but I haven't seen if that guy does that yet. But yeah, that was a really great hero. I am going to look up more about him when I can, because yeah, any hero that uses the power of metal to defeat the villains.
Yeah, but there's that guy who basically, I bet he must be quite young, that guy with those hands or something, because he gets quite stressed out. You can tell he's getting stressed out by it. And
what, the villain?
Yeah, those hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just constantly scratching at himself. Either that, or he's just got really bad acne.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he is constantly talking about game over and stuff like that. He probably sits in his room and plays video games all day.
we went into this last time.
Yeah, does it? You know.
But the interesting thing is, we actually got to see that warp character without the warp around him.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's only part of his body that's warp essentially.
And I guess the League of Villains isn't going to be a thing anymore. They're going to give themselves a new, more powerful name.
Well, it sounds like that was just a dumb name to basically distract. You know, it's basically a cover-up essentially for an actual organisation, which will hopefully be given a proper, name that didn't sound so cliche as hell. I liked how they called that out because that was like quite interesting.
Yeah. So, and then just like somehow All Might managed to not get noticed in his kind of true form by any of the students. That was kind of lucky.
Yeah. Well, I think. Yeah, that is one of the interesting things about that.
But at this point, there's not really much more he'll be able to do, will there?
No,
Like-
because it sounds like you can only do about a minute, or not a minute, an hour.
Yeah.
Did he say it was an hour, something like that?
He said he might be able to manage an hour or so.
So in other words, enough to teach them, but not actually be able to do
Essentially
any
enough-
serious hero saving. So he's going to have to leave it up to, oh god, what's his name again?
Midoriya?
Yeah, Midoriya. He's going to have to leave that up to Midoriya, so he's going to have to.
He's going to have to master that power eventually.
Yeah, so I can see that happening within the next season. Don't know when, but
I'm guessing All Might's going to kind of tutor him or something.
yeah.
There has to be some point where he stops breaking his bloody limbs every time he punches something.
Yeah, I just figured out how he could do that though, because he's already restraining himself by only using certain parts of his body.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately the key is to get stronger,
Yeah.
to actually be able to
To get good, basically.
get good scrub, and praise the sun. Always praise the sun.
Wait, what?
Dark Souls joke.
Okay.
Just because you said get good, and that's a common Dark Souls thing. But yeah, wow, that was a really good episode. It really sidestepped my expectations for how that battle was going to end with the
Same.
League of Villains, which I'm really happy about. It's always good when something's not predictable, but
Yeah.
it's not predictable in a good way. You
Yeah.
know, if they just suddenly broke out into song and dance or something, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, I didn't predict it, but that's pretty fucking stupid. But the fact is,
Yeah.
they did it in a way that was just like, I didn't see that coming,
But
but it makes sense.
it makes sense. You wouldn't expect a noob like him to be able to take on one of those boss battles, because then it's a cliche plot thing that you would.
But at the same time, you could see it happening just because it's cliche as fuck.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's like,
it's
you can see it happening, even though you know that, it would kind of be a bit of a Deus Ex Machina kind of thing, where it's like,
Yeah.
it just kind of came out of nowhere and saved the
Well,
day.
you
but-
don't want that to happen because anyway, we're getting sidetracked there.
Not really.
Well, okay,
But
yeah. The point I'm making is, it would have been too predictable if he went in there and been able to save everybody at the last, at this like grand finale. I expect it to come mid next season, because then it will be not a surprise. Well, it will be a surprise, more of a surprise.
And before we get all the way to season 3 and he's still not managed to figure out how to stop toasting his arms.
Oh god, I hope that's true, because at that point it's gone past the point of being surprising, and to the point where it's like
I imagine if
it's almost like the point where it stops being funny and starts going into a bridge territory. We're talking about the sort of thing that went on with the with the Q Mark Crusaders, where it took them years to get to the big Q marks, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It might even be that he'll get more control over it, but you still can't kind of overdo it, or he learns how to use different power levels.
Yeah.
And if he goes over 9,000 or something, he just loses all his power.
Or breaks
Or
all
breaks his arm, breaks his hand, whatever. I think that's really the key. At the moment, it's on or off. He's using like he's just using like an on or off switch, whereas really he should have like a
dimmer switch.
yeah, essentially, so that he can control how much power he's putting through, and that I think will be the key. And I think that's what he's going to learn. So I think he's still gonna, if he overdoes it, he's still going to break his arm or some other part of his body, and that might come up a few times, but he'll learn how to actually tone it down a bit so he doesn't end up breaking himself, which would be nice, which would be progress.
Yes, which would be nice progress.
But yeah, overall, this episode was great. It was amazing. I'm going to put it at 9.6 on the scale.
Yeah, I'd put 9.6.
And
because I'm saving my 10 for when, well, if they do a good episode of when he finally manages to control things, that's when I'll basically consider doing the 10 for that. But
honestly, there'd have to be so much. The thing is, I don't even know what a 10 would be until I saw it. Then I go, that was a 10.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
And I think one of the general rules is you never give 10s because that implies it's perfect and nothing's perfect. But fuck you, I'll give people a 10 if I want to.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but yeah, that said, I hope that you enjoyed our review of this episode. And did I mention anything about a reaction? Probably, but it's down there in the description below.
You did, yeah. I think you did anyway.
I think I did. But anyway, if you enjoyed it, if you enjoyed the review, like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube interaction stuff. And yeah, look forward to season 2 of Hero Academia, because we're definitely going to be doing season 2 now. And yeah. And hopefully you'll start seeing more anime reactions from us as well, especially because probably by the time this is released, or around somewhere when this is released, I'll need to kind of do a bit of mental maths to figure out exactly where we're going to be at that point. We're probably going to be pretty close to the release of SAO, so who knows?
Yeah, and also we're probably quite close to the end of MLP Season 8. I mean, we don't know even if there's going to be a Season 9 or something like that, and then following the generations, the new generations, which I think, to be fair, we will be doing a reaction to when they do Generation 5. So.
And also...
No spoilers for that, by the way.
Yeah, and also I think we were considering doing Steins Gate as well as a reaction as well.
If we can find a source for it.
If we can find a good source for Steins Gate, we also want to do Steins Gate as well, because it's apparently a really good time travel related anime.
I love time travel and I love time travel shows. So if a time travel anime sounds right down my street.
Yeah, so anyway, look forward to those kind of things. Those will appear sometime in the future. But for the time being, we hope you enjoyed this. I'm pretty sure I've said this for about the 3rd time now, so as usual, I'm Skybound.
Starlight Flux.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.